Hello everybody, how are you? You remember last lecture? What we studied last lecture? We studied what? We studied what's micro teaching, the concept of micro teaching, the different skills of micro teaching, and now it is a role or not the role, it's the time of planning a lesson. The first skill of micro teaching in chapter 2. Let's see this slide. There is a picture of a teacher. He's planning his. Let's see this statement. Read it now. Try to think of this statement. Tell me your opinion concerning it. Got lesson planning is essential to the process of teaching and learning. What do you think? In the following slides, you will find some suggested practices. I want you to scan them quickly and tell me which one you prefer, or select 5 at the utmost importance for you. Okay, try to do it in just only 5 ones of them that you think the best ones or the most important ones for you as a teacher. Then lesson planning. Here, look at the slides. There's a teacher who is preparing his lesson. There are some ideas in his mind concerning what? Concerning what I'm teaching. Who am I teaching? How will I teach? Do my students understand me or not? So every teacher should think of different points or different ideas before going on to prepare his lesson. He will think of the ideas you want to cover. What what about his audience? What about his students? The age of his students, the experiences of his students, the social status of his students, everything of his students he will think of. And also the methods or the strategies he should use to teach those students, and also think of, do his students understand them? There are 6 steps to guide you when you create your first lesson. Let's see. Number 1, outline learning objectives. What are the most important concepts, ideas, or skills I want students to be able to grasp and apply? Why are they important? If I ran out of time, which one couldn't be omitted? And conversely, which ones could I skip if I pass for time? Develop the introduction. So the first one concerning the objectives. Second one, introduction, or we may call it warming up. How will I check whether students know anything about the topic or have any preconceived notions about it? What are some commonly held ideas, misconceptions about this topic? What will I do to introduce the topic? Then, plan the specific learning activities, the main body of the lesson. What will I do to explain the topic? What will I do to illustrate the topic in a different way? How can I engage students in the topic? What are some relevant real-life examples, analogies, or situations that can help students understand the topic? What will students need to do to help them understand the topic? Plan to check understanding. Develop a conclusion and a preview. Create a realistic timeline. Very important. Time management is very important in every moment in our life. So the teacher should be accurate enough, should create a realistic timeline, estimate how much time each of the activities will take, then plan some extra time for each. Be flexible. Please be flexible. When you prepare your lesson plan, next to each activity, indicate how much time you will take while teaching this part exactly. Plan a few minutes at the end of class to answer any remaining questions and to sum up key points. Plan an extra activity or discussion question in case you have time left. Be flexible. Be ready to adjust your lesson plan to students' needs and focus on what seems to be more productive rather than sticking to your original. Let's see some details concerning objectives. Objectives are the first thing in our lesson plan, the most important thing in our lesson plan. What are the characteristics of a good behavioral objectives? They are summed up in this acronym which is called SMART. S refers to simple, M measurable, A attainable, R realistic, and time timed. Okay, so the characteristic of a good behavioral objectives: SMART, simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. What we mean by simple? Simple means not complicated. For example, we just have one verb here to measure, one verb in our objective, not more than one. Measurable means we can measure the action itself. For example, I'll give you some examples for good behavioral objectives. Attainable, I can achieve it, or achievable. Okay. Realistic, not imaginable. And timed means time. How can I form behavioral objectives? By the end of this lesson, pupils will be able to form sentences using present simple tense, differentiate between fa and va. Here, those are behavioral objectives. Form sentences using present simple tense by the end of this lesson. So the time here is by the end of this lesson. What about form sentences? Here, that's the verb, just one verb here, not complicated. It's simple. It's attainable, achievable, measurable. Okay, so it's a good behavioral objective. Also, differentiate between fa and va. Here, differentiate is a verb. It's attainable, it's simple, it's measurable. Also, it's time, because by the end of this lesson, try to create more objectives in order to check you understand now what SMART refer to. How to write a lesson plan. Elements of a lesson plan: title and date, objectives, warming up, teaching aids, educational resources, teaching strategies, procedures, evaluation, and home fun. Please consider those elements of a lesson plan. So I'll ask you to do a lesson plan. Okay, you can use any of the courses, the primary stage, secondary stage, preparatory stage. Use any course and try to do what? Try to plan a lesson. Try to create your own lesson plan and give it to me next lecture. Okay. Also, as an assignment, Read chapter 2 from your book and summarize it. Bring it together with the lesson plan next lecture. See you and goodbye.